Okay, we're on lesson 6 and 7. So what we need to do now is we're going to generate, over these next two lessons, is we're looking at the surface graphics for the film Emerald Bay. So if you remember a couple of lessons ago, you will have looked or analysed the film synopsis, where you picked out the key words in the film synopsis and then you chose words associated with it, where we can use those now to generate those ideas. So we want 3 ideas. So again, you may be using your booklet, or you might be using a blank piece of paper. So I'm just planning out where I'm going to put my 3 ideas. Now, depending upon the proportions of my nets that I've chosen to do for my point of sale display will depend whether or not these are going to be landscape or portrait. So if this is my idea here, it's going to be portrait. If this idea was drawn more like this one, where it's more rectangular in a landscape fashion, then I'll be drawing a rectangle on its side for these ideas. So your surface graphics should reflect your point of sale, chosen point of sales display, the one that you've made as a model, or if you've been in lesson, drawn it up on the computer. So if mine's going to be portrait, I'm just going to sketch 3 rectangles where I'm going to put those ideas. Now, if I refer back to that homework task, which is to do where I analyse the film synopsis, in there I can choose the genre from them, and I can pick out some key words. So I haven't got that quite to hand at the moment. So let's say on one of those spider diagrams, I'd highlighted Matthew Black, and he's going to be athletic. He's going to be, it's going to be an explosive adventure. They're going to be my key words. So I've got Matthew Black, explosion. So I might have a picture of Matthew Black here. So that's where his head's going to go. And in the background, we may have what at the moment looks like a tree. I might have an explosion. So I've just roughly planned out where that's going to go. So I've got Matthew Black's shoulders there. So I'm now going to put a little bit of detail in. So a quick reference to drawing heads. So if this is going to be his chin, I've got 2 diagonal lines. I've got 2 more diagonal lines. I've got 2 vertical lines. This is going to be his head. This is where his ear is going to be. And this is where his eyes are normally level with your top of your ears. There's his nose. There is his mouth and his chin. And then we can give him some hair, and we might give him a bit of a stubble down the side. So maybe he's wearing, I don't know, a leather jacket, potentially. There we go. And we've got an explosion taking place in the background, and we've got fire coming out there on the side. Now, because it's an action adventure, I might have the name of the film going in this area. So I'm just putting a placeholder as to, or a box as to where I want to put that in later on. This is where the film details are going to go. My next idea, let's say I highlighted nuclear disaster area and nuclear waste. My next idea could be something to do with that. So I might have here, I might draw a barrel for nuclear waste from that film description. So this is a disaster movie. I've got the maybe a crack in the waste barrel on the side. It could be on the beach. I could have the nuclear waste leaking out of the surface. I'm going to draw where my title is going to go at the top here. I may even put a placeholder as to where the names of the actors are going to be that are going to go on those. And to make sure we know it's nuclear waste, I could draw on the radioactive symbol painted on. Maybe it's a bit distressed on the side over here. And maybe in the background I could have some palm trees. And then also on that film description, I may have highlighted computer wizardry skills. So this is a bit old-fashioned now, but I could draw a cathode ray tube monitor in the surface, and it's got a smash screen. It could be again on the beach, but this time I'd be a bit creative here. I could have like a toxic waste coming out of the monitor, and then more clearly in the background, because it's on an island, a tropical island, I could draw some palm trees in the background. This could be the sea over here, and then again I could put a placeholder to say where that might go on the side. So my next phase now in this lesson, once I've drawn my ideas out, I'm going to take either a biro or my pencil and press on a bit harder, and I'm going to, or a fine line if you have one, I'm going to put I'm going to fine line of the ideas and put some detail in now. So let's say I've got a bit of detail. It's got a bit of a stubble around the side. There's his eyebrows. He's looking a bit, I'm going to make him look a bit meaner. There we go. There's his hair. So this time now, that's where he's going to be cut off. So I'm going to ink that in. That's the cut-off point. If I wanted to, I could delete or rub out any details that go beyond those lines. With a thicker pen, I could put a little drop shadow to make it stand out on the side, something like that. And then this is my explosion. Let's get that under control. There we go, there's bits flying everywhere. There we go, so I'm not pressing on quite as hard for these bits. There we go, there's the explosion, there's his collar. There's his leather jacket. Maybe I'm making him fade away later on. Now, because I've got the name here now, I'm going to try and put it in italics. Make sure I spell it right. And it's going to be in a modern looking font. There we go. And I've got Bay. And let's say I wanted, I've got the, let's say the film logos here. Let's say it's starring, I don't know, Tom Cruise here. That's where his name's going to go. And that's his surname on the side. So you continue to do that with your other ideas. So we'd ink them in. So in this lesson, we're looking for 3 ideas. Try and use your research. So try and use your product analysis that you've done where you've looked at different fonts. We're not onto colour yet, but you'll eventually think about colour and the spider diagram that you've looked at. So that's lesson 6.